No, no,
All right.
yeah, ready for that.
All right. Here we go. All right. Welcome to another Bruce Bolt. Meet the Player series. Today we've got a really special edition. We are working with our military guys today on this call. We are actually introducing our new military series batting glove. We'll show it here at the end. First, I want to let all the guys introduce themselves so you can get to know them a little better. And we're going to start off. We're going to start off here with our first man. And yeah, take it away.
Hi guys, great to be out here. Pleasure actually talk to the man himself. My name's Aiden. I play for the Conference A Team Stars, and I also play for the military team, Headbanger, NFM Lending. What's the other one?
Services, Bruce Bolt.
Bolt Republic team. Been playing ball for about 6-7 years. Love it. Love these batting gloves. Have been wearing them for about a year and a half now. Glad to be here.
Navy, active duty, right?
Navy, I'm active duty. Navy, been in about 7.5 years. Still going strong. I'm out of California, Southern California, nice and hot. Yeah.
My turn.
Thank you, Aiden. Mario.
All right. Hey, how's it going? I'm Mario Coronado. I'm active duty Army. Been in 13 years, MP most of the majority of the time. Just this year, I got blessed to play on a conference team, RVCG, new conference team building up. So blessed on that part. Been playing with For the Fallen for a while, a military A team. So family, good people. So I like to have fun playing ball. So I've definitely been blessed with that. And I've been wearing these gloves for about a year and a half now as well. I actually invested in them when I got a wrist injury, and my wrist was like killing me. So I saw the wrist wraps and I was like, man, I got to get me some of those. I'm getting old. Once I hit 30, it's like my life started falling apart. So, so I had to get the wrist wraps. And man, it definitely changed the game for me once I was able to wrap up my wrist and have the batting glove, because you're not having to wear extra stuff. So it definitely worked out. And these gloves have been gold to me. So.
Thank you, Mario. Ants, you're up.
What's going on, everybody? Anthony Master Giovanni, Bear, Anthony, I appreciate the invite to this. Thank you for also choosing me to, be one of the select few that get to sit here and do this interview with y'all. I am actually a United States Army vet. I did 6 years active duty as a UH-60 mechanic and crew chief / door gunner, and then went to the flight instructor side, teaching other service members how to be crew chiefs as well. Been playing softball now for going on about 13 years. I've spent about 6 years in the conference. I currently play for a B team called 50-50 out of South Georgia, as well as I play with a military team in the A division called Militia. Been with them for about 5 years now as well. And then I also have the luxury of playing on the black circuit with a team called Major Impact. Amazing atmosphere if anybody ever gets the chance to experience that. The Bruce Bolt gloves, probably the best batting gloves I've ever used in my entire life. I've been wearing them for about a year now. Playing in Florida and South Georgia, the heat and the humidity, the amount of sweat that happens, and you get throughout the day, the gloves stand up better than anything I've ever used in my entire life, and it's absolutely amazing. So I appreciate the invite. Look forward to getting to know y'all some more.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ants. Ovi, take the floor.
Bear, Anthony, I just want to say thank you for the opportunity to sit here with all these great gentlemen and yourself. I want to say, first off, thank you for your support, to yourself and your family. My name is Ovi Polanco. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I've been in the military. I'm active duty Army. I've been in about 6 years. Been playing military ball for about the same time. Ants was actually one of my first teammates when I started playing ball. So it's pretty exciting being on here with him. what can I say? Before SJ Anthony introduced me to Bruce Bolts, I was just in Lowe's or Walmart looking for the lawn care gloves, you know, the leather ones with the straps, you know, trying to get something as far as like, because me personally, I like my handle with just batting tape, you know, some bats come stock tape, I always take that stuff off. And that regular batting gloves, that stuff wears and tears and, you know, rips up your hands. But honestly, like I got all my pairs of Bruce Bolts right here, and I still have that first pair, that SJ that I bought from SJ. So it's really been life changing. Kind of like Mario, I also suffered a wrist injury, so having that long cuff definitely was a game changer. You know, I still sell to guys from New York City, and those guys love it. So it's just been an amazing. I always get amazing feedback from everybody. So from the bottom of my heart, from my family, from the military family, I just want to say thank you. I do play with MIS Cam Jam Sports at the conference. I play with Never Quit 22 on the military side, and I just picked up with a team called Loyalty on BSC. So it's pretty cool, man. I got to rock all the different colors, different teams, so it's exciting. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ovi. We really appreciate it. Kobe, take the floor. Floor is yours.
What's up, SJ, Bear? Thanks for having me. Really good to meet you and see SJ's face again. So my dad was active duty Army, so I was a dependent for 20 years. Then I got a job on an Air Force base, so I do heavy equipment operations on Eglin down in Destin. What else can I say? Bruce bolts are just growing up playing baseball. They're the best ones I've ever used. Not ripping like any other pairs I've ever had. I was going through a pair of batting gloves every other week, every 2 weeks. But I mean, they're just best I've had.
Team you play on?
Well, let's see. I play on a D team down in Destin, Florida, called Addictive Sports, and a military A team called Ruthless / Clash, and just living it up, playing with all these great guys.
Awesome.
Love it. All right, Leonard Anderson.
How's everybody doing? I'm Leonard. Let's see here. First of all, I want to thank you, Bear, for all the support, everything you've done. Obviously, for me personally, and you know, in the military as well. I know a lot of people, you know, they say they support, but when you show it, you know, with the actions and things that you've done, and the statements and things that others have made in response to how much they've blown up this year is it's amazing, man. So from me personally, thank you. And then, you know, from all the brothers I know on our For the Fallen team, everybody's rocking them, loving them. So thank you. SJ, appreciate it having me here, bringing me in the little circle, if you will. A little bit about me. I'm old. I was in the military. I was in the Air Force for about 15 years. I got hurt, blown up in Afghanistan at about my 10, 11-year mark. So it was my second tour at Afghanistan. Loved it. Wouldn't change a thing about it. I wish I could start it all over and do all that again and meet all the same people growing up playing the ball. But played softball I started playing at Eglin when I first joined back in like 2002, 2003. Played there for a long period of time on the Commandos, one of the original, you know, great teams in the military. So I kind of got spoiled right off the bat. I don't even know if they had conference much back then. It was just kind of everybody playing everybody, like a big pool thrown in the mix. And you just strong survive. So from there, I went to overseas for a little while where I kind of lost touch of everybody. Anybody who's been in the military goes overseas and plays ball knows you're kind of in a whole another world over there, just doing your thing, figuring things out until you come back stateside. And then when I came back stateside, it's kind of when I got hurt. So things have changed a lot since the game I used to play as opposed to when I quote unquote woke up from the injury and whatnot and started playing again. New technology, new gloves, new this, new that. I never played Ovi like you were talking about going to get those leather gloves, man. I didn't do that. J-Bo probably remembers this. I played with the military issue gloves, black, old school. Like that's what I played with. Yep, sprayed them to death, let them roll. When they busted, went right back to issue and got me another pair until the Velcro stopped working. So I never bought batting gloves because they never lasted, ever. It wasn't even an option for me really, because as soon as you sprayed them or did anything to them, they was done. And I'd swing right out of a hole or something. So military gloves didn't rip. And until I found these. And that's kind of when I saw these in person. I think I hit up Eschete, or actually, no, I called Bear's dad.
Called direct.
I talked to him right out the gate and was like, let me talk to you for a minute, man. And he was as helpful as you could be, set things in motion. And I haven't looked back since, man. As far as playing now, I still play competitively. I don't play as much as I would like to, but man, age is catching up. I play for the Fallen on the military A side of ball, and then when I'm in South Carolina, I'm not around some of the best areas in the world to play ball, I guess. So teams are a little scarce around here, but I pick up where I can. But that's about it.
Thank you for that, and thank you for giving us that call that day. I remember when you called up, so it's been awesome getting to work with you and getting to help all y'all out, and especially, I mean, it's just been an awesome experience for me and my dad. So thank you for that. Anthony, do you want to speak a little bit?
I'll let J-Bo go first and then I'll go last.
All right, J-Bo first, you last. I like it.
How's everybody doing? Hey, Bear, how you doing? I appreciate it. Thanks for the opportunity, SJ. I really appreciate it. Yeah, my name's J-Bo, Jarvis Manning, Sergeant First Class, United States Army. I've been in quite some time now. I just hit 16 years. I hit 17 in October. Stationed in San Antonio, Texas right now, right down the road. I actually came to Austin and picked up my gloves from Bruce Bolt. Play for GI 40. I mainly play in the black softball circuit. I play with Team Midwest in the over 40s. Yeah, I'm that old. My age is showing. I play with all gas on the BSC circuit as well. I mainly play local in Texas. I don't play that much in Texas. I don't know why. I'm from a Florida boy, so I guess that's my niche. I've been playing softball since 2010. When I was at Bragg, I got conditioning really, really well in the game by some really, really good people. Ray Otto, Kenny Turlington, Frank Wilson, big guys, all, Code Red back when they was still a team. Yeah, I ran through gloves just like Lenny will tell you. I think when I met Lenny, I had my old motorpool gloves on and didn't have any good batting gloves because they wouldn't last. So I think when the boats first came out, I said, I'm not going to waste. I'm already in San Antonio, so I made a drive over, got me a pair of gloves. And to this day, I still have those same pair of gloves. I tried to intermingle and try other gloves to put them up to comparison. But after 50, 75 swings, they start tearing. They tear the laces or they tear at the palm. To this day, I don't even use spray because my Bruce Boats hold up pretty well. They're pretty tough, dependable glove. I played in the rain, played in the cold of Colorado. They hold up pretty well. So much it about me.
Man, awesome.
Awesome. Well, thank y'all again for hopping on this, and thank you for your service. Anthony, do you just want to hop into this, and I'll ask the questions and let y'all take off?
Yeah. Real quick, they call me SJ because my last name is Eschete, and I have no J in my name. I've adopted it over the years. I've been around military ball since 2010. When I first got a bad hand injury, I was in Wyoming, and saw people playing, and I just joined. And ever since then, I just grown fond of it. And as I've been around, I've tried to get more involved on every level and stage. And been with a company with Headbanger Sports for years as well, and they do so much for the military. And what's funny is that everybody asks me, "How'd you get with Bruce Bolt?" Like, I made a phone call, man. I remember that day. I had bought a long cuff pair, and I had buyer's remorse immediately. And I was like, man, I need to change it. I need to change my order. And I talked to your dad, and 2 hours later, we got off the phone, and the rest kind of is history from there. And just being a part of it, and allowing my military brothers and sisters that play the game to see this side of it. There's all these other big companies that people do, and these startup companies, and it's always the same people that always are involved with stuff. And they deserve it to a point, and you get there. But I thought I could bring something to this special family, this special unknown world of just family and sports, and how we can combine them together. And I remember Jabo very well. June last year, I think I brought 60 something pair to the Band-Aid in Colorado out of a duffel bag. And he was my number one advocate. He was running around telling everybody, come see this, come talk to my boy. And then I left with none. I mean, it was like that. And I just 60 pair. And now to look where we've grown since then, almost full circle to one we're going to talk about in a second. But just seeing the community adopt it, different colors have input, and me being able to give that relationship to everybody, it's just been phenomenal. Bear just lost his what is it called? His little light thing that makes him look prettier.
The ring
It's
light.
not for making me look pretty. It's for actually showing my face because the room's dark as hell.
Oh, gotcha.
Come on, get it right.
Yeah, I've been in a little over 13 and a half years, 14 years, stationed in Louisiana, my hometown where I am, and got the awesome opportunity to also work hand in hand daily with Bruce Bolt, and truly feel like part of the family over there. That same relationship I have with Bruce Bolt is what I have with the military and everything else that I do. So to share with these group of guys right here, I picked them for a reason. They all know the reason. I kind of shout out them out and grabbed them on, but I think this is going to be a unique perspective to show the world not only slow pitch softball and how highly competitive it is, but the military side of it too, because it is such a huge family. And it's not just your Texas backyard league night, church night. Like Lenny said, there's overseas that's enormous over there that still plays. Guys from all over the country that grew up somewhere and are stationed somewhere else, and how all these guys, like Ovi and Ant said, they used to be teammates a long time ago, and now look where they're at now. And I'm sure, like Jarvis and Lenny said too, and that's how I was. I was in Wyoming to now be a part of it and see it and have this opportunity to bring a glove. It's just not just a batting order. There's so much more to it, but to have that and give it to this community, and have the world also be share with it, I think is pretty awesome, and can't wait to dive further into it. But that's a little bit about me and where I'm at with it. Cheers.
Thank you for having buyer's remorse on that, Anthony.
You're welcome.
Kind of helped us get a long way with this. So you helped us tap into a market that we didn't even know existed.
Exactly.
But all right. So thank you guys again. I'm gonna go ahead and I'll jump into the questions, and you guys just kind of bounce off of each other. And if it leads into more conversation, great. I mean, it'll probably lead into the other questions as well. And just want this to be a fun thing for all of us to kind of just get to know each other. Obviously, y'all know everyone, but for me to get to know y'all, and for everyone watching to kind of get to know y'all. So my first question is, why is because Anthony and I talk about this all the time, and I've never really fully understood it, but why is military softball just unlike anything else that's out there? Like, I just kind of want to hear from y'all's perspective, and whoever wants to jump in and start it, go ahead.
So I'll jump in on this one. Military softball is different. Like it's hard to explain, but if you really want to experience what military softball is like, come to the Band-Aid in Colorado Springs. Like this is by far my favorite tournament. Like when you go, so you can go play any competitive tournament civilian wise, and you're gonna get along with your friends, your immediate people, the people around you that you kind of know. But when you go to a military tournament, it's like everybody there is family. There's really not any arguing, fighting. People aren't really being assholes.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a different kind of community, and it's just crazy to see. And if you want to experience, like, as a perfect example, if anybody, I don't know if you'll ever get out and travel, but to just show face, if you want to see what a military event is like, you can come to the Band-Aid at Colorado Springs, and it's just a perfect example of what military ball. Worlds kind of used to be like that, but it's not as it's not the same because it's so spread out in Florida. But the Band-Aid is everybody's right there. It's family, friends, and it's a good time on top of having softball. You're getting to enjoy the game and not just play the game.
More people sit at the fields all day than they do anything else. I mean, you don't just play
you don't really go to your
all day. Catching up with people from years ago, catching up with people, you haven't seen in a while. And, the time just goes by so fast because you're having so much fun. I agree. That's huge.
I think you hit it on it. I think you hit the nail on the head because the difference between military softball and just playing regular conference or playing any other type of events is at the end of the day in the military softball, you know that you're family and your brothers. So in between the lines, everybody wants to win. Everybody's competitive at the same time. Once that game is over, the same person that you're just playing against, you're going to probably go have a beer with, or go have a drink with, go in the parking lot, and you're going to, talk trash back and forth. If you won, you won. You lost, you lost. You're not going to carry it to the next tournament or the next day. You're not going to have any animosity with that person because they beat you, because we all know we have one purpose, and that is to be the 1% that serves the United States. So, I mean, that's kind of like what makes us stand out amongst any other type of softball division there is, because we know that not everybody can be in the military, so not everybody can play military softball.
I think it's also too, like, it's a huge family reunion for everybody, because you go all year or a couple of months without seeing somebody, or like prime example, me and Ovi was stationed together in South Korea, and then we went different ways for a while, didn't see him for like 4 or 5 years, and then you turn up at a military softball tournament, and you're getting to see your old teammates or people you used to serve with and things like that. And whereas how you were just saying, you can go to any competitive softball tournament, it's like, oh cool, I'll see you next weekend, or I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Whereas the military tournaments, they're so far between that it's, you get to see somebody you haven't seen in a couple of years, you get to see them this month. And then, a couple months later, you might actually get to see them again. Whereas once you get them orders and them orders come out, you might never see that person again, except for at military softball tournaments. I think that's definitely one thing that helps separate it from any other form of softball.
Yeah, to me, I would say military softball is just a celebration, man. Like Ant said, like the time that you get to see the people that you don't serve with overseas, whether it's from the East Coast or West Coast or in South Korea, Japan or Guam, Hawaii, no matter where you are, even in Europe, stationed somewhere, or if you're deployed downrange, it's never the same group of people that you will see at every military tournament. I feel like whenever the schedule gets put out, everyone just circles the date, just circles it on the calendar. Like, look, I'm going to try to at least go to the Band-Aid. And for me, the Band-Aid was my first tournament, and that was my first time seeing, but I joined in 2015. I got to Korea in 2016. So I was there for 2 years. And then after Korea, I didn't play ball. I went to Washington State, and I was there for a little while. And then I went to the Band-Aid, my first USSSA military tournament. And I'm seeing people that I haven't seen in years. And, and it's so crazy because, it's kind of sad being in the military because you make so many connections at a duty station, and then 3 years later you're gonna have to leave those people that you had to make connections with. And so then military softball is kind of the same. Like, we know that at some point we had left each other, but like we come back to the same tournament, and like I said, it's a celebration. And the Band-Aid is definitely one of the tournaments that I would say, even for like junior enlisted soldiers that are just looking to join military softball, the community, that should be their first tournament for sure, hands down. So
yeah, this military ball, it's insane. Like my first year doing it, I didn't know what it was until I got an invite from our coach who I knew locally in Washington. And I was just a little D player. This was like my first year playing ball. I come out there, I see all these conference guys, like guys with bats out named after them and stuff. And I was like, I'm playing with these guys. Like, it was super intimidating, but like, and then all the beef between people, because they'll be talking smack in between the game and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, these guys are about to fight. Oh my gosh. And at the end of the game, no matter who wins, they're dapping each other up and stuff. And I was like, I thought y'all, it's like just the competitiveness. You'll have different range of ball players from conference to DE, and they'll all be on one team. And it's just super competitive. Just the talent level is just insane. It's super fun playing with these guys. And then at the end of the day, we're all military. We know we're all working hard, putting our lives on the line and stuff like that. So we all, that respect is there, no matter the trash talking in between the games and stuff like that. At the end, we're all having beers together, hanging out for hours, even after the game, sometimes late at night, like Waffle House and stuff like that. But it's just a great time, man. It's I like it honestly more than just regular ball. Military ball is just something completely different. Yeah, it's like more of a pleasure than like the competitiveness. It's still there, but I just enjoy going out there, seeing everyone more than actually playing. So,
Ants, I mean, for you guys that are no longer active duty and retired, separated, for you guys, it's definitely like that feeling of belonging again when you're back on the field, right? With these guys, I mean, something you did for years and years, and then once you're gone from it because of your life, and you go do your civilian jobs or you do it, and you come back, it's like that feeling that you got all over again. If I'm not mistaken, it's I haven't experienced that, but from what y'all have told me before, man, I know that's one of the main reasons you stick around the military ball program and why it means so much to y'all.
Oh yeah, it's definitely it's a brotherhood. That's the easiest way to put it. It's a brotherhood because you build that bond with people that you're around every single day, while you are serving, going to work, doing your job there. And then when you get out, you do lose that sense of like, okay, now I'm just another normal person. And I just go to my normal 9 to 5 where no one really knows my name. Nobody cares what I do, this, that, the other. And then it's like when you get to go to those military tournaments, it's almost like its own paradise in a sense, where you just go there and you don't have to worry about really what's going on in the outside world. You're around all these people that, you don't really get to see that often. You get to get back with them and you instantly click. That's what's one of the great things too, is you can go a couple years without seeing somebody. The moment you get back around them, it's like you've never left each other's side or anything like that. And you do get that sense of belonging back to it. And that's why I do wish that we had a lot more of the bigger military tournaments where everybody actually comes out.
Yeah, for sure. I know that's going to lead into Bear's next question, if I'm not mistaken, right, Bear?
Yeah. Next question. My next question for y'all is just how has softball helped y'all? Just, I can only imagine how difficult and the ups and downs you go through with just military life. How has softball helped y'all with just getting through that and just everything that comes with it?
I think so. I think what a lot of people don't realize is, I mean, if you're in the military, you understand it, but there's a lot of stresses with the military. It doesn't matter what MOS you are. The military is a very stressful lifestyle. If you might have bad leadership and you might just be having a crappy time and might be going through some depression, mental illnesses. I mean, depression is out there for sure, but it seems like when you go to those softball, it's all that's gone. All that stress is gone. Anything that might have been like just bothering you, distracting you, and just making your life miserable, whether it be a bad leader or something. You go to softball tournament, you're just hanging with your friends and you're just playing softball, and it's like all that's just gone, and it makes it helps you get through those little things. I personally have never had to deal with it, but I have seen it where people were going through hard times, and softball really helps them get through it. Just, I mean, you're pretty much your brotherhood. It just helps you get through those hard times for sure.
For me, when I joined, I know it's been a minute since I played baseball. And then when I joined the Army and went to Korea, I didn't think I was going to play baseball or softball or anything like that, So I remember I got to Korea in January of 2016. And my first 6 months there, Korea, for the most part, it's only a year tour if you're there without your family. But this is my first time. I'm only 19 years old. I'm living in the barracks, which is essentially a dorm room. And I don't know anybody. I'm in this foreign country I've never been to before. I don't really know how to travel anywhere. So it was overwhelming for me, like I'm away from my family for the first time. So for me, whenever what got me into softball was I was just going to the gym one day and, there were sign up sheets for softball. And that's where I took my first step in joining military softball. And for me, I was there, like I said, I was there for 2 years. Those 6 months that I didn't play or I didn't meet the people that I met were longer. It felt longer actually than the 2 years that I was there total. So that's what it means for me. Like it definitely took me out of being in that place of just being in my barracks room, not speaking to anybody, kind of just going to the gym, going to work and just coming back and, not being able to meet anybody. But military softball, no matter the rank, you won't guess what someone's rank is because we don't all wear our rank on our chest when we play. We're just players. Like I said, it's a celebration through the game of softball. We're just players. So unless you really know someone personally, you won't know what rank they are. And that's what's special about it. Like we genuinely all care about each other at the end of the day, no matter what we're going through. And we won't let each other get in trouble. Like we won't let someone get to the point where they're disrespecting other people or getting themselves in trouble with the law or whatever the case may be. We'll kind of just take care of that person and make sure that they get home safe. And that's the special part about it.
Yeah, we police our own. I mean, I could go so deep with this, and y'all all know that. Just coming from playing with two hands, going back when the bases used to play, where you could only play with your base. J-Bo knows what I'm talking about, because we battle bending a lot. And it was very different then, and it's very different now in good and bad ways on both sides of the house. Back then it was very more prideful on your base. You just had to rock with who you had. That's what it was. You got lucky at the PCSs, or you got lucky, like in my situation, I was rolling with a team that had like 8 conference dudes starting. And it was like, all right, let's figure out how I'm gonna fit in on this team. It was called a weight room. You know what I mean? Like it is what it is. Nowadays might be something a little different, but it is what it is. So, coming from that side of the house where it's very prideful, old school, practice 3 times a day, or three times a week, to the new school where it's opened up ordeal. And I'd gotten hurt. They changed the whole format. So when I came back, missing, what I used to play with, and what Mario will tell you that like, that was what I loved to do. That was my bread and butter with the whole thing, was my hands. I'd take infield all day. And, seeing it, everybody just kind of open arms back in without skipping a beat. People didn't even know who I was yelling at me, and being able to crack jokes and not have to tiptoe around life like you might have to in the civilian world.
That when you run the first?
Right, like all kinds of stuff. And it's crazy because when you look at it like that, it's really a lesson in life. I can go on any sports field, or I can go on any competition, or almost any sporting event, but especially obviously softball is where we all get along. And you can fit in real quick because you have a shared commonality, right? A shared interest, a shared competitiveness, whatever it may be. So I could walk on any field almost, and we can all get along. But then you add, like they said, the 1% into it, and you add all the blood, sweat, tears from training and everything else, and then you add sports on top of it. Man, it saved my life. Like I don't really have any other words for it. I went from, that was like one of the second things I had thought about, in the recovery phase, because a guy named Markey, who most of us probably know on here, visited me in the hospital, which I never would have thought he would have showed up. Never would have thought he would have showed up. And of all people, he showed up, and we met in Korea playing softball. So the whirlwind of emotions that brought, and then it turned into just a crazy ordeal where now I'm back with all my brothers on the field, sharing the field again, and they just start yelling at me from the moment the tournament starts and back and forth. So I could be on here forever talking about it because it's literally, like I said, saved my life. But I just leave it at that. I mean, I can't really put more words on it.
It's the truth. I mean, you hit the nail on the head, brother. Everybody goes through stuff. I mean, we see it just this past 2 weeks. We've lost a ton of people that we are special in the military community, especially the softball community, and it hits hard. I haven't seen either one of those guys in a long time, but it hit like I talked to him yesterday. And we're so small. And like I was trying to tell Bear, and when I originally talked softball, I told him how big it was. And then when I honed in on military, I said, man, it's like you talk every day on your little group. Every team's got their group message, right? And they're chatting. You go off and you can do your own thing. And then, there's that support when you need it, and that that nonchalant when you just want to escape. And it might not be next door neighbors. It might not be somebody on your base, but you feel like the minute you're back with them from messaging, it's like, man, it's like, I feel like I saw you yesterday. It was 6 months ago or whatnot. And it's that escape from stress, like Mario hit. You can go through some of the craziest things. Every one of us have gone through some of the most wildest things we can imagine in the military. Growing up, wherever you grew up and to where you are, you have to all find something to escape, whether it be the gym, whether it be, extracurricular activity, gaming. You don't want it to be the bottom of a bottle. You don't want it to be the abuse. You don't want it to be all these other things.
And don't wait till you retire.
Correct.
Because I'm going to tell you right now, you will go crazy
with it, and you just constantly stick with it. And it's like you can never escape it because of how special it is to you. And that's why, it doesn't matter, man. If you deploy for 2 years and you come back, ball goes with you wherever you go, and you eventually come full circle. And you like you said, Ant's out of the military, Lenny out of the military, but they're still in the military, and I never once look at them like they're out.
That keep the softball weekends, military softball weekends, man. That keeps me going. Like, I had some pretty rough goes, and then what rolled away from a weekend. Like, all right,
hey, we're good.
I could work with this. Like, I'm back on Messenger. I'm back on social media a little bit. I mean, I don't really play on there much, anyways. But
yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Before I got hurt, I didn't even think about the words depression, pills, any of that. That just didn't calculate with me. Didn't make sense. And so I got hurt, and then it's like a whole new world opens up, and you're like, whoa, you don't want to be a part of the world, but you ain't got a choice. So, I mean, you guys saved my life more than I've ever done that to y'all. But at the same time, I got to say this, when they talk about military softball, the difference is if you walk out from a tournament, let's say here locally, even on the conference or whatever, let's say you're walking out of the fields and the lights are going out, right? They're cutting all the lights in the stadium out, but your team left you, right? Your team, you ain't got no ride. You might not walk up to that car in the parking lot at a conference event and knock on the window and say, hey, bud, you give me a ride to wherever. You do it at the Band-Aid, and you're going to wind up like us at the Waffle House eating with the people that gave you a ride when your team shows up in the parking lot without you to eat. Not even answering the phones.
Hey,
So
Mario.
that gives you a little insight to what military about. And they left us at Waffle House too that same night because we were still eating.
Dang, Mario.
Nah, he wasn't on the team yet. Well, he might have been.
He was.
Nah, this is FUPA.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I didn't play with
Team FUPA.
Oh,
I played with BTA.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
but no, the military. So, being a combat medic, I can tell you I've dealt with my share of depression. I've talked to people off the ledge. I've done some tournaments to where it's just you're in so you never. The best way to put this is you never know when you're going to be called into a situation to do your job. Everybody has different jobs in the military, and they all have a different calling that they choose to do and they elect to do. I felt the largest part of me to choose to be a combat medic was I'm always about serving others and helping others. And the best way to do that, I feel, is to me is to be a combat medic. And you've had those situations like Lenny will tell you. I think when I came across him in Colorado in 15, I just had a good friend that committed suicide. And I had to I talked to Lenny about it. And I think I talked vaguely about it with him. And he was like, it could be worse. I think he made a joke about it at one time because I didn't pay attention. He was like, it could be worse. You could be swinging the bat with one hand. And I was like laughing at it. I was like, wait a minute. That's what oh, okay. All right. Well, make light of the situation. I got it. But you won't get that other type of, I guess you say tough love in any other conference, any other division. And at the same time, they're still going to have your back. They're going to support you no matter which direction you take at that fork in the road when you're in a tough situation. They're going to support you and going to keep you out of that dark alley and keep you going towards a lit highway so that you don't make a permanent answer to a temporary problem. So, I mean, that's what you get from the military. And again, like they said, everybody does have your back because I can remember in Vegas being stranded over in being stranded at the
in Vegas.
I got stranded in Vegas.
Where were you stranded?
I was stranded in Henderson. And I can tell you exactly. I remember. This was the year that everybody left early, and it was over in Henderson. The military part was in Henderson, Nevada, at the complex over there by the apartment complexes. And this is when y'all had Dale Brungart playing with y'all, and everybody had left, and I was just walking around. And I looked around, and I was like, man, I don't have a ride. And I saw a random car sitting on the parking lot. I was like, hey, you might give me a ride? And the first question they asked was, we here playing military ball? I'm like, yeah. He's like, what's your hotel? I said, the Luxor. It's like, come on, we're going to the Luxor too. And we got to the Luxor, and I was like, thanks, man. He was like, oh, we're not staying here. We just want to go gamble here because we wanted to be at the Luxor. I was like, wait, where's your hotel? It was like, our hotel's down on Fremont. I was like, oh, man, look, you went way out of your way. I appreciate it, man. I was like, that's what we do. And that kind of stuck with me to this day, being the person that did that with good friends. But I wouldn't get that. And Ann to tell you, I wouldn't get that at the BSC. I wouldn't get that in Texas. I wouldn't get that at the Booms. I wouldn't get that at Corky's. I wouldn't get it at Cross. I wouldn't get it at Quay's. I wouldn't get it at the Dudley's. I'd have to pay that $100 Uber to get from where I was
at. What
at.
about Peters Creek? You might get it at Peters Creek, bro.
Yeah, but you're going to get the wrong type of ride at Peters Creek. You ain't going to get it.
You're going to end up in the hills.
Yeah, you end up in the hills.
Yeah, it's a I remember that back in the day. It is wild. We do have a lot of dark humor that we could come off wrong to some individuals. But to us, we get it. To us, you get us one-on-one and we might be like the most sensitive dudes you ever talked to. But not in front of the team. Not in front of the team. We're not going to be that sensitive. So it's, I think the fact that we know that about each other, and then at the same time, we know that if somebody rolls out here in an active shooter situation, we're gonna stand in front of that other person, and that's just what it is. And I think sharing that sacrifice, even though it's an unspoken sacrifice, man, that's a deep bond. You can't replace that. Period. So.
Show. Cool, bro. I think y'all hit a huge on that one.
Yeah, y'all knocked that out of the park. That question, that was I loved hearing y'all's answers on that. That was awesome to listen to and just sit back and hear what y'all had to say. Next question is, so we all know the saying look good, feel good. I mean, I always made sure I was swagged out when I was playing baseball. I feel like Anthony just looks like a guy who does the same, but I just want to know for y'all, is that something that all y'all look good, feel good. Y'all do that every day when you're playing?
I think we
I
should let
know the Southern Cali guy does.
Mario should answer this for every single one of us. So we're gonna let him have that one.
All right. Mario, by the way, owns like patent leather white shoes. He's probably gonna wear them at the Band-Aid.
That's the reason the band Silk Sonic started, because Mario is the reason they like
He shines his bats too before we play. Like he says he just wants to be able to see where he hits the ball, but I think it's just
Mario, are we gonna retaliate? They're kind of jumping on you right now.
he ain't figured out how to hit the mute button.
I'm definitely, I'm definitely that guy that if I'm gonna go out there and hit 500, I'm gonna go out there and hit 500 looking good. I'll always have the matching stirrups. I love having
look good though.
My batting gloves. That's why I usually stick with white. But since if there's that meaning behind the green, it's got a meaning behind it. So I'm willing to dig it. But for the most part, I'll have my matching stirrups, white shoes. I like to.
He wears his Apple Watch when he plays too.
Yeah, just in case I get a phone call.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm on duty.
And he checks his Facebook live feed out there, the whole nine. I ain't never seen so many ball players in my entire life. Now, some of you old guys can attest to this. Ovi, I seen you wear it too, so I'm looking down at you. I never seen so many ball players in my life wear watches. It's like they need to know what time it is.
They count his steps.
Most of
I've never worn a watch before.
Hey, then the Apple Watch is then like a challenge, a step challenge, or a circle challenge. Friends, they cheating using the softball as like they getting their workout in and stuff.
Right.
Like
I'm like, I looked at Mario one day and like, why you forgot to take the watch off? No, I'm playing it. You're an infielder.
I can't
you
play
never got hit. You never been hit.
SJ hits too hard.
No.
I can't play at my watch. SJ hits too hard.
Nah, that's a what's that called? But yeah, y'all be counting your steps and everything.
Now I think Ovi's worn it too. Look at him. He's sitting out there being quiet. I've seen him once.
I see all y'all, man. I think it's true. I think the look good, feel good, play good mentality.
I do.
From baseball, I mean, everybody's got that weird. What is it called? Walk up to the plate. I watch a lot of players and how they do the old Nomar Garcia parry, double tap on the wrist on their Velcro, and some people do the crotch grab and a couple of things in the whole arm thing. But it's when guys walk out with their earpods in. Robert Lee cracks me up every time he goes to center field, his earpods in and does the checking in live thing, and then game started and he still got his back to the outfield. He cracks me up.
Little leg swinging thing.
Yeah, that little thing.
Oh yeah, where he does his thing in center field. Yeah.
Everybody's got their little thing, but when I've noticed it, and this is a question we bring it up because of bolts. It's just that like extra swag level you have when you wear them at the plate. It's you see your hands, you got the bolt, and now everybody's gonna see this new bolt we got coming out. It's like that iridescent, like.
Dude, I was the kid in high school that rolled up with like no bag. Like I had I had a grocery bag with my cleats
up through the bat
and my glove. I didn't own a bat.
Yeah.
Back then, you used a high school bat.
Use what they gave you,
and it's like.
So it felt good to have my own little. I remember buying the first freak that came out. Like, oh, pretty.
I can't tell you that the boats though. I try to match my team colors with the color.
I do too.
Like I got vetoed for GI-40 when I was like, yo, I got these yellow boats on the back. Can we put some? Yeah, can we match the boats? Like, no, we're gonna stick with the colors. I said, look, I know I appreciate the Air Force. I respect them, but that's too much Air Force blue that I need to be wearing. Can I get like? Can I get some green or some black or something like that? I was like, man, I'm gonna just cut the bow out on my hand and show my black so I can have some black showing. But I was like, I don't.
You could use a marker.
Why I don't need a marker. Have you paid attention lately? I'm good with a marker. I'm good.
Fair to tell you, man, we got how many colors we got coming out this year? Y'all be good, trust me.
Yeah, we got a lot coming out. We've got the two more player series coming out, and then we're getting orange out here pretty soon. Yellow should be on its way. So yeah, we've got a lot coming.
Should throw a purple.
Orange.
Yeah, we'll have orange soon. We've got purple right now.
I take the orange because I'm a Gator fan. So yeah, I'm gonna have to take out a loan and buy
see.
New versions of the Gold Series coming out, a white one and a black.
Yeah, we do have 2 new versions of the Gold Series coming out. We've got a black with a gold with gold accents and a white with gold accents. So those are gonna look.
Yeah, I was say I see J-Bo already. Like that's an Army color.
Those two. I need August if I can. August.
Yeah, it'll be out by then.
But here's the question: how long is it going to be before the entire armed forces tries to like do their own little at the armed forces tournament?
Yeah, each one. Yeah, we're just get that the armed forces. I kind of briefly told Bear about it. It's that's
they all use them.
Itself, you know.
But I've heard that they've changed the way they used to do it. You know, now it's like some kind of every other year thing, or
COVID put a damper on it, and then they dropped it from a certain level to be more competitive at the once the all armed forces team goes and competes.
What do you mean dropped it? Dropped like the
division and the rules. Like you don't play against the super national level. You play at I think it's like C or B level.
Play B level.
Yeah. So you don't. It's more competitive. Not as many home runs, but I kind of briefly told Bear about it. How it's an honor to get invited to try out for your branch. It's an honor to make it, and then after everything's said and done, the all-in forces a little bit of everybody, and then they go compete against us.
That's when the women shine. After the fact.
That's what broadened all my connections is when I got to go to All Army back in 2012 because Doc Watt and Ray Otto and all them gave me the opportunity.
That's when I met. That's when I actually met KT and then started. We were friends.
Yeah,
I didn't like KT when I first met him.
I met.
He's the guy on your team for sure.
No, he wasn't on my team. I first met him. I was playing third base. And J-Bo know exactly what I'm talking about. He did his little drop bat. I'm gonna hack it right down the line.
Yep.
So the very next at bat, I come flying in, and he proceeded to try to take my freaking head off. And I was like, "All right, that's cool. I'm knocking you out with this ball if it gets to me."
He hit a piss missile right by your ear hole. I was like, wow.
I was like, "All right, bro, we're not cool." And then I met him like years later. And I was like, "All right, we're cool."
We cool.
We cool. Hey, it's late.
Buying gloves for some people that he was in a meeting. He's gifting them gloves for a meeting. So we brought him up. I just talked to him today about it. That's pretty cool.
But I feel like now, I mean, we have no choice. Going back to the question, we have no choice but to look good because there's so many sports photographers out there, man. Shout out to all of them that they keep us looking good, So at this point, I mean, one of the biggest things as far as like, I would say as far as like advertising and stuff is the pictures that are taken on the field. Just being able to be out there, just be yourself out on the field and being swagged out with Bruce Bolt stuff. And you post them and then people start, like I go to local backyard tournaments and like, I don't even know what part of Georgia, but I go out there and I play for cash sometimes on Fridays. And there's guys out there wearing Bruce Bolts, And it's just all of social media. You never know where people get the idea to buy them. Obviously through the websites or through like player reps or pro players and stuff like that. But it's all influence. And I feel like it's as far as slow pitch goes, from my perspective, I feel like it started with the military and then it branched out everywhere else. Like it started with us and then it branched out. So it's special to see people everywhere in the slow pitch community. Not only baseball, but slow pitch community specifically, we're rocking Bruce Bolt. So.
Yeah, it's nice because I have this place called Shields over here. So if I wanted to go get them quick, they have Bruce Bolts and Shields over here.
Oh wow! Man.
Do they really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I just make the 45-minute drive to Austin and pick mine up. I'm just Austin.
He's like, man, I went to the source.
Let's go to the source. To the horses.
Dicks and Shields and online. Obviously, everybody knows Headbanger Sports. We're with
Oh
them.
wait, Dick's has him now too.
Select.
We're in I think 6 or 7 Dick's Sporting Good locations now.
Oh, okay.
That's
So
dope.
we're not in all of them. We had to they wanted to originally, throw us into most of them. We had to kind of slow them down. We're like, listen, we're still not that big. So
I'm back
they
there.
were gonna try and run us out of business and send everything their way. But we're in 6 or 7, I think, scattered around New York, St. Louis, Texas, and then some West Coast.
I mean, Shields is a different breed. So
Shields is amazing.
I know, man.
breed of a store.
My first ex-wife used to like manage that place, and discounts were amazing.
That place is expensive.
There. But that's awesome. I agree. I think look good, feel good, play good mentality we all have. I think when we were prepping, I know some of y'all do it, don't lie. Y'all still lay your uniform out on your hotel bed before a game. Make sure there's no wrinkles, make sure there's nothing creased and stained, and you make sure your wife, or I know some girlfriends that bring the steamers.
Hey, who used to iron it? So one of the dudes we all know used to iron this stuff.
Call me out. No, don't be calling me out. Yeah, I used to iron my shit.
Oh, that was okay.
All y'all just for the weekend.
You're not the only one though. You're not the only one. I know that Greg Zayas used to iron his stuff too.
Yeah, it's a few. I don't want to call him out because I don't want him to watch this later and be knocked out.
I'll call him out. Greg Zayas with his patent leather belt laid over everything.
Everybody.
Yeah. Especially when I'm going to have David Liberty take some photos of me. I got him.
Oh,
Perfect.
yeah. Oh,
with
my God.
With the Bruce Bolt on my chest, it always looked beautiful.
That's a dope one. I think we hit the nail on the head on that one. Don't you think, Brett?
Absolutely. No, y'all killed that question. All right. So last thing before we kind of reveal these gloves to the public. So every player, I know I did before Bruce Bolt, we all had scenarios where our batting gloves were affecting our game. How did they affect your game, and just how has Bruce Bolt played a factor in your game now?
Oh, well, I used to have these gloves that had the sticky stuff on them, like the football gloves.
Like receiver gloves.
They would always start peeling off after like a few weeks or like a month or something like that. Sometimes the grip's off. I have to like roll the bat in the batting gloves just to get any grip. And I was buying, that's why I had like 6-7 pairs. I'd see which ones are the less messed up and just keep going through that. I'd be like, okay, now I got to get a new wave of gloves, pay like $20. I'm paying like 3-4 at a time just from the last few months. I still have my original pair, my first pair. They're pretty used. I know there's one little hole after a year, but that's my fault because I wouldn't take care of them. I didn't like let them air dry because I get sweaty when I'm playing. So that's why I got a few pairs. Now I can like, okay, these got one game in them. Now I gotta let these air dry. I got another one, but these things, man, they last a long time, and I love it. I haven't needed a new pair since. I got 3 pairs, and the same 3 pairs I've been using the past 7-8 months. I've got a whole bunch of BP sessions with them, like once or twice a week. And these things last. I don't use stickum spray, nothing like that. No pine tar, nothing. These things just never had a problem with the bat slipping out of my hands ever. Even when it's raining, I just got to make sure I got a dry pair and just rotate them out. And these things just stupid.
Got one of the craziest batter, stances. It's a man, if you ever watch him, just throws his hands. If anybody's ever watched Aiden, he just throws his hands before the ball comes. And then
it'll flip out.
Like he's churning butter, bro. It's like churning butter, bro.
I gotta intimidate him.
Yeah, that's true.
He does the worm.
What is that?
So one thing I did notice about these Bruce Bolts that I enjoyed the most, obviously I mentioned it before, why I originally got them was because the wrist wraps, and once I hit 30, like I said, my life started falling apart. But I like that they're super thin. I like being able to feel my grip, and I don't like thick. So that's one thing I've noticed that I really enjoy is that they're super thin. I can feel my grip, and I like to feel the bat in my hands freely and not feel like there's something in my way. But that's what's a big factor for me is being thin and then having the wrist wrap on my old wrists. I might have to get a pair that's not wrist wrap because every now and then is sometimes if you're in a hurry, you're trying to hurry up and do the wrist wrap and stuff like that. But
I would say kind of. Oh, go ahead, Ovi.
I think those that have it, I'm obsessed with it. Once I went, I had buyer's remorse, and I'm so happy I still got them. They're my favorite, the long cuff. I mean, Ovi's showing it right now, but it's y'all think it affects slow pitch at all? I mean, it's a different type of swing than baseball or anything else. I don't think so, but I mean, from you guys, by all means, you think it helps, worse, better? I mean, anything like that?
I mean, it helps. I'm in a unique situation, but I wasn't being funny at first, but now I will. A, I don't have to buy 2 pair of gloves now. And B, I went from so the way I used to swing, I had to learn all this over again. So the way I used to swing, I used a lot of spray. And a lot of that was because I like everything. I wanted everything connected, right? Sometimes I had a hard time getting the bat out of my hand just because I was swinging so hard I never wanted to let it go. Well, then now, because of the prosthetic and the angles, as far as trying to, and Mario see me swing a lot, it messes with the front little hose thing I got. If I need to be able to almost freely move that top hand in the middle of my swing. So if something happens, I need to adjust outside, inside. And if I'm locked in like I was before, I'm just going to look like a fool trying to swing a stick. And so it kind of gives me that I use those with the vault grip and I don't have to use the spray anymore. And it just kind of gives me that kind of top hand freedom to leave it a little bit looser than I would when I normally having to wrench down on it to make up for the lack of dexterity, if you will.
Yeah, so for me, these are my first pick, right? I use the overlapping grip now. But back in baseball, since it's more reaction based as far as the swing, now that we play softball, we have a lot more like Aiden, whipping your hands around. A lot more guys whip their hands around and stuff like that. There's a lot more wrist movement involved. So going back to that wrist injury that I got, and so the long cuffs, it helps me, because I still wrap my wrist with the self-adhesive tape, and then I'll wrap it once with regular athletic tape. And I still kind of feel it sometimes, but it definitely gives me 10 times more support. And baseball, softball swing is completely different. We're not trying to hit a 90-mile-per-hour fastball, a 90-plus-mile-per-hour fastball. We're trying to hit how fast did the softball come in? Freaking 10 miles per hour, maybe, if that. So
on this pitch, we throw a crazy mean 14-mile-an-hour blooper. Don't disrespect.
Yeah. my bad. But yeah, man. So it's a different swing path, and it puts a lot more strain on our wrist compared to a baseball swing. And then for me, as far as using old batting gloves, obviously, no matter what sport you play in, preparation is everything, right? So I'd go into a tournament having hit 2 or 3 times either the week or the week prior, and now my batting gloves, since I started using the overlapping grip, I got a blister right here or right on top of my hand before, and now I'm going into a tournament with with blisters on my hands, and it affects how you play, because that in the back of your mind, if I swing too hard, it's going to hurt because I'm cut in my hand. But now rocking the booster balls, I don't have to worry about that. The glove is thick enough to where it protects my hands even with the overlapping grip. So that's definitely made a difference for me as well.
Let's get your padding in the right spots too, where it's reinforced.
That's what I was about to pick up to say. So I use the overlapping grip as well, and being a left-handed person, the knob sits between my second and third finger, my third and fourth finger, and I don't have an issue with my first pair of gloves. I still use it for BP, and I wear all the other 5 pair I have for playing in tournaments. My BP glove still, till this day, is going strong. There's no knob wear and everything. The durability of the gloves is pretty it's hands down one of the best gloves I've ever had on my hand. Doesn't have any type of effects. And it gives you a sense of I guess you say comfortability, knowing that if you don't have to, I don't have the wrist wrap because I don't have no problems with my wrist. Pretty good. If you're in a rush and you have the regular wrist size, I don't have to worry about wrapping 10 feet of tape around my wrist. I can get caught just going in the dugout and put my glove on and going to the mound or going to first base, and not have to worry
Well, that
about
in baseball too is the big one.
Yeah.
Because of the different grips on the baseball. Because a lot of people, how it was when we grew up, line your knuckles up, line your knuckles up. Well, the facts of life are is everybody ain't grabbing the bat that way no more.
Nope, everybody not grabbing.
So it's it's a lot of your over exaggerations, your under exaggerations. Then you go into the softball world where you got the overlap grip. And Bear, a lot of people, you've probably seen the overlap grip because I know people are dropping down a finger or two now. That's where it started in softball, was the finger or two, all the way until you got, until you got strong enough wrists for all the other people in here that seems to have weak wrists.
Yeah,
where you didn't need a wrap.
Yeah, baby wrists, baby arms.
It is, but yeah, right. But the reinforcement's good, and even you got it because like Obi's talking about the reactionary swing. Well, you're using different parts of your hand there. When you're in an overlap, you're mainly using these parts of your hand. Whereas when you're in a baseball reactive type swing, you got the padding down here, and it's a lot more throw the bands, throw the hair. So when you're throwing the barrel in the hands at everything, your pressure points. That's where your pressure points are coming from when you're going through contact on the ball.
Yeah.
And so it seems like that's where you put a lot of the reinforcement, which is nice.
I like them. The durability is awesome. I have to say it.
Yeah,
I haven't torn a pair yet, believe it or not.
That's why I fed so many people to SJ when he had him in Colorado, because it made me feel good because I knew he had him before we got there, and I was like, oh, I don't think that many people have him because I haven't seen any social media posts about him. But when he did have them, and guys were asking me in the games, yo, where did you get those from? I was like, yeah, you just gotta go here. I'm in Texas. I'm sorry, I'm spoiled. They're right down the road. And then he opened it, saw all of the gloves. I flooded him with clientele. Let's go over here, get some gloves. You won't be disappointed. I promise you. And that was it. Because I don't know about y'all, but I don't let anybody wear my gloves. And I'm sure as hell not about to let them wear my Bruce bolts. When they say try them on, I'm like, nah, dog, buy a pair and try. It is what it is. Don't put your hand in my glove. I'm not OJ. So don't wear my glove.
Yeah. There's a lot that goes into these gloves, man. I mean, you guys asked Bear. It blew my mind the first time I talked to him. And I'm like, man, batting gloves, right? Batting gloves. I've gone through them. Everybody just has a different logo. They're all basically the same. And then I hit up, talked to Bear and his father guard, and I'm like, holy crap, man, there's a reason their number is the way it is. It's insane how much the little articulating drop of the stitch that goes below the wrist, like you said, the reinforced crotch and heel, the little neoprene in between vents. I mean, he'll tell you all the differences, but
I can tell you just from them not ripping on me. Like, I'll be the first one to rip a pair of gloves. And
I'll be honest with y'all. Obviously, I deal with a lot of customer service, and I'll have a customer call me and say, "Hey, we ripped a pair," and we go, "All right, let's talk about it. Why did it rip, etc." We go deep into that, and we come to find out a lot of factors happen. Right? They played in rain for too long, didn't let them air out, or they were too small. And there's other factors. They're not indestructible. I wish, if we made it indestructible, Bear would be on a yacht in the middle ocean with some other cheerleaders from another college. But he's not. And eventually.
Hey, call somebody. My bad.
We got it. But for them to last longer than a tournament, a month, 2, 3, 6 months, et cetera, to go for it. When we look at the military, we look at stuff that there's some crappy military stuff and it don't last.
Military, baby.
That lasts for a long time. And those things, that's kind of what plays hand in hand with why I fell in love with Bruce Bolt, and why some of other people, because they see quality, craftsmanship, durability, comfort. These things are what we look for in a lot of our products in the game, right? There's certain reasons why people choose DeMarini, Mike, and Louisville, all these different bats and cleats. There's some people wear Jordan, some people wear New Balance and whatnot. But one thing we can all agree on and hear, and what I think the the world is starting to see now in this community and others is there's a lot more into using a lightning bolt on a wrist and a long wraparound cuff. And for Bear, you know, as a young adult coming into this world of business and whatnot, I applaud him, man, for what he's been able to do, and with the help of his father and the team, because he's in day to day involved with everything. And I know we all were 18 when we joined the military, or younger. You know, some joined at 17, some joined at 20, but he's in that age group. And if we look back at what we did at that age, I bet we would laugh and shake our heads at what we were doing.
Was trying to make babies.
Oh man,
I was having a lot of fun in Korea, drinking soda.
Downtown New Orleans, man.
I was 19 in Germany, bro.
We've
I rest
all been that age, and to kind of look back and go, man, I applaud them, especially for not just creating a product, but continuing to make it better, continuing to do new things.
I think a big thing for me, Anthony, is what really sold me over the top is to see when they made those gloves for Lenny. Just to see the customer service is a big part of me. Like, yes, the gloves are amazing, but another thing that I always look into is the customer service. You know, yeah, you're gonna get these big name brands, and then you got this new company coming out with a great glove, but they're also showing good customer service. And then when I saw how they customized Lenny's glove, I was like, damn, that's freaking awesome. Like, just to be able to, because I know Lenny would always have to cut his glove and do it all himself because of his hand. Well, they sent him exactly how his glove needed to be. And that, to me, that was amazing to show them taking care of their customers, not just growing as a business and just throwing stuff out there. They actually cared about their customer. And that's what was huge for me.
In that process, Lenny, I mean, you don't have to talk about it, but if you want to, it was pretty intense, right? Like, scan your hand and like stuff.
Actually, man, his dad made it sound. That's what I was expecting, and I think if I would have been there, you know, it may have been an entirely different, more, you know, intuitive process or whatever. But yeah, man, somehow y'all did it with like tracing the outline of my hand. And then I scanned the image, sent it to them, and then I just took some pictures. That's what blew me away is when I got it in the mail, I opened it, I'm like, how did y'all make this? I was like, this is, because I've had some people try, or, you know what I mean, taking a glove and adapt or whatnot. And it's just no comparison. I mean, the detail, everything into it, the size, the way even my little nub finger fit in there, like,
show them.
Yeah, it was. Oh, I have them all back here. So this was the brand new one, but like, so if you see, they'd cut out that part, which normally is where I would just have to take a pair of scissors and just just cut it there, and I would cut the fingers. What I learned was I couldn't cut this part and have it re-sewn because the stitching would just be so crappy, or, you know, it'd be re-stitched, not from the inside. It wouldn't be double stitched on leather. The inside of the fingers would always bust on me right here because, you know, they weren't double reinforced, or because it was just cheap fabric, to be honest with you, when stretching up or whatnot. And so I would always get tears in there, and then pretty much the same spot everybody else is. I would wind up getting rip outs right in here, which anytime you get a rip on a glove that you cut or altered, you might as well just toss it, because the next swing is going to completely bust all the way open. So, yeah, they sent me this in the mail, and you can see, man, this was brand new. I keep all the new ones because I try not to, it takes a second to make them. And so I try to hold on to them, because now I'll play defense with them too, and I'll have to throw the softball out with them. And so I try not to get them too worn out.
No, for sure. And, you know, and Bear will tell you, there's certain people we do stuff for. It was not even a question. especially you reaching out and us not trying to force it on you. You brought it upon yourself and whatnot. And it's something that, you know, we had a question that we were going to bring up about how does Bruce Bowl fit with the military? And I think what you just talked about, and hopefully it opens doors for others to be willing to come and we help them out as well with, even if it's not softball, right, or baseball. If we can help them and be a part of something, hell yeah, man, why not? I mean, this is why a company that was out of their kitchen as of 2 weeks ago, you know, from the very beginning operating, it means more than you calling somebody sitting behind a desk that has no idea what's going on. They're just punching numbers and looking at metrics. And Bear.
Oh yeah, and plus I got to speak with his dad. I mean, we talked for, man, we must have spoke for like an hour and a half that day.
Oh yeah, Guard loves
Just talking about all kinds of stuff. But
to talk to us. Bear will tell you. Sometimes we just got to tell each other shut up and we got to get back to work. But
Pretty much, yeah, pretty
they're
much.
both so passionate about this, man. So passionate.
I think we should get him out to Band-Aid so we can really, really see his gloves in action.
I've been trying. Trust me. They just bought a ranch and they're moving over there. So, but we'll see. We'll see if I can get him out there. I need Guard. I need Bear out there. That's what I need.
I don't know if he's ready for that. I'm just kidding. He ain't
Hey.
ready.
Hey, girls.
Elevation. You're getting ready for that elevation. He's still in school, man. He's in college. Right
I
there.
mean, I'm in college where I can take a break. It's not that important.
Hey,
No,
Pretty sure that's summer anyways.
3 weeks.
It is summer right now. Yeah, so I mean, I've got the summer, Ant.
3 weeks. I'll see you there. I got you.
Skyview.
I'm driving.
Uh-huh.
I'm driving there, so if you want to hop in, let's go.
You'll be-
Easy.
I want to get him
I'm
on.
driving
Nice
the
little
whole
drive to
weekend.
Colorado. That's easy.
Some of
I'm the
y'all don't
DD.
know. Bear was a pretty good baseball player, and
I don't know how far I'd go with that one, but yeah, I played.
there's videos of you taking infield, BP. It's out there.
Yikes.
I think he needs to see what slow pitch is about, just one time, so he can understand.
Military is the best way to see it too.
Yep. It's
Hey, how fast you think he'd get processing like some of the other guys? You just put him on the field and they run around.
in military, it's super fast.
All right.
I mean, Robbie
It'd be
Fowler.
like the one year they brought the conference dude out there to play shortstop. He was hitting the ball 600 feet. Like, ooh, I don't know who this guy is.
That's Tommy.
I've got
That's how it matters.
Sorry, he lives there now.
yeah, man. I think we hit a lot of topics, a lot of parts. You guys got anything else? I mean, Kobe, you've been pretty quiet. Ants.
I can't really think of anything. I mean, it's been a great conversation, covered a lot of topics. Every single point that could have been made about the gloves has been, how great they are, how durable they are, the feel, the longevity, everything about them is just, I mean, it's unmatched anywhere across the board.
If y'all had, I got a question real quick. If y'all had to, if there was a company out there and y'all saw there was a certain aspect of the military program that could use some more support, what would y'all think? I mean, it's very hard to speak about it because it's like, you know, certain things are covered, certain teams have things covered, but how can a simple batting glove company show their support other than this glove we're about to show out into the community? I mean, I don't know how else to word that, but we want our company motto, if y'all didn't know, is be better. That's our company motto, be better. And regardless if that's just in making the glove or the customer service or how we give back to the community, how can we be better than we are or the competition or others are doing it? So it's a very hard question, but I think you guys, somebody's got an answer out there. I have a hard time bringing it up because I can real deep into it.
It's a hard question. But there's always the way I see it is, if you're trying to reach out to a military community, there are certain kids that are just getting into softball, new in the ranks, and the only downside I see is sometimes these younger, lower enlisted aren't going to be able to afford a glove. I know it come up to me the other day.
and he's brand new private. I was actually his drill sergeant, but he's here at Fort Carson as well. And I was like, well, what's your price range? And I told him about how much everything costs, batting gloves, everything. And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna have to talk to my wife. Cause I mean, he's new to the Army. They don't have a lot of money. So maybe, I don't know, like the golf courses do, go off a rink.
Yeah. I agree. I think that's a really good product because we give a military discount. That's pretty nice, I believe. And I always thought, that's a pretty good one, but everybody kind of does it.
Yeah.
And then obviously this glove, there's proceeds coming from it that we want to give back to the community and organizations as well to it. But, hearing that, Mario, you hit me up all the time for a bat or something. And how can we get the best price for some of these guys at this rank? You're right. I think that's something we should look into and potentially talk. Obviously, it only takes one to mess it up, and hopefully nobody does. But I agree. I think that's one cool. I always thought too, like a sponsored tournament, no entry fees, something like that, or get people out there because some of these teams, even the A teams, have to pay $500 out of pocket amongst the 10 players.
Yeah, maybe not even sponsor like no entry fees, but maybe like sponsor set. How like they do bats for the winners or something. That way,
prize package.
Yeah, like it's getting the gloves out there as well. Like, a lot of people, they won't buy them because they might be like, well, I'm used to paying like $20 for batting gloves, but they don't know how this product is. And then they win a tournament or someone wins a tournament and they give them those gloves because they don't know. Now they're wearing these gloves and now they just became a believer because they just got these gloves for free. And now I'm like, oh, okay, now I see what the hype is about. But some people are just scared to take that leap to buy something new, and they're going to keep using what they're used to.
That was me. I won't lie. That was me the first time I bought them. I bought them from Eschete. He told me the price, and I was like, man, I don't really know if I can spend that on batting gloves because I was going through 2, 3, 4 pair, every couple of weeks, taking batting practice 3 days a week, hitting 250, 300 swings every time I was going out, and I was constantly ripping gloves. He was like, look, trust me, try these out. And then I'm pretty good buddies with Phil Matt. Same thing. I asked him, I was like, man, you take a lot of BP. How are yours holding up? He's like, dude, I've had the same pair since, every bit of a year ago. He's like, and I'm constantly hitting. And obviously, he's playing a lot. Finally took that leap, bought a pair, and actually used them at I think it was Military Worlds last year. Mm-hmm. I actually came over to the tent, seen SJ. I was like, hey, bro, these didn't arrive on time. He was like, here, bro, here's these. We'll get squared up later, use them the whole tournament. Came back to him and I was like, bro, I will never use another batting glove. In a matter of 5 games, I fell in love with a batting glove. And I still have my very first pair right here that I got. And like I said, I take BP 2-3 times a week, playing just about every weekend. Never had a single problem with them, no tears, no rips. I used to spray my grips on my bat, so I don't even have to spray it anymore. Even like I said earlier, being down here in North Florida, South Georgia area where I'm constantly sweating every single day, never losing any grip or anything out of the gloves, out of the bat, nothing, just because these gloves are made so well.
That's awesome.
And to piggyback off the idea about the ranking system, I mean, you could possibly in a tournament or something like that be like, hey, I think it was at Military Worlds in Florida, or I forget what military tournament was, but they said it was some contest. It was like whoever's the youngest ranker been in the little bit list of like the shortest amount of time.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's always something like that for these new guys because I know it's hard. Without BH or anything like that, you're not getting.
I'll do something for sure.
Paid anything. That could be do something like that, and then I mean these gloves are almost a year old. These you can see the wear and tear. These are like discolored and everything like that, and they're still going strong. These things are money. So even just one pair for someone brand new to the military coming out to like Band-Aid or just a tournament like that, like it costs a lot of money. And a brand new pair of batting gloves that's going to last them a long time. You got to think in the long run, instead of paying like $20-$30 for a cheap pair that's going to last you a few months, that $60 will go a long way. So especially like someone brand new coming out for the first tournament would be pretty cool.
I think it's if you like if you partner up and if you instead of hosting a complete tournament or making entry fee for free, if you like give them like an incentive. I know the number one thing that we hate in the military is waiting on people to pay the entry fees or waiting on people to sign up for the tournaments and try to figure out who's all going to be able to come there or not. If you add like an incentive of the first 20 teams, the first 10 teams to sign up will get like, 6 or 8 pair of votes, and you can tap in with the actual director and say, hey, let's partner up and try to figure out how can we get this covered and get it accomplished. Because I can actually say that these gloves, they're everything they need to be. And because playing in the rain and then letting them dry out, and then a day later they still don't tear and still going to batting practice, they're pretty legit. But I think there's different ways that people should experience these gloves. And I don't hit as much as everybody else do, but when the time they come hit, I take them fresh out the pack. I think I got a pair that I haven't even worn yet, but I can guarantee it's going to feel just like the other pair. There is no wearing time on these. Like I put them on and it feels like second skin. So I think they're legit. I think more people should start getting it, and how we can get the gloves out there. I think the faster, the more efficient way to get them out, the better.
Awesome.
Bear, Anthony, I would say, as far as doing more for the military community, I feel like you guys are great where you're at. We've gotten this far, or you've all gotten this far. Well, we all gotten this far through influence, and I feel like each of us have our own peer group, our own level of influence as far as like social media or just personal relationships. And this is why we're here now, right? And as far as the military, I mean, it's not just another company doing like, oh yeah, military appreciation. And it's just something small. The fact that, Bear, you guys went out and worked with Anthony, and Anthony's here now working with us, and taking that time to actually trust us, trust Anthony in the process, and doing what you're doing for us now. I feel like that right there, that means more. And just because of that, the military community will buy into it, doesn't matter the price. Because if you care, you got people spending $200-$300 on a pair of sneakers, you know what I'm trying to say? But and that means a lot to them. So if you can get people to believe and buy into something like you have, it doesn't matter the price. We'll move some stuff around. We'll help each other out, obviously. But I feel like where we're at right now, what you guys are doing right now, is perfect, man. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Bear and his family and Anthony believing in all of us. So I think we're good. I just want to say thank you.
$300 sneakers, bro. I got 5 kids. I ain't buying. That's the combined. That's what I'm leaving. I'm leaving Rack Rooms, Shoe City. $300
on a Tuesday, huh? Military discount.
That's it, bro. What? $300? I need to hang out with you some more. Then,
Yeah, Obi got that fresh light.
Dang, bro. I'm talking about.
Got every 5 days, Obi over there.
Hey,
I appreciate that. I think you hit the nail on the head on that, man. I think it's not necessarily we're not trying to profit. This is special to us. Like I spoke earlier, there's organizations for cancer and other these things, and we listed them, and military was number 1 on Guard and Bear's list. And we went over it again and again, and it truly means a lot to them. There's a lot of reasons behind it, but we've talked, and they're invested in the military big time. And we bring that question up because how can we help where a lot of people are already doing stuff, and we don't want to mimic what they do, and we're not trying to be better than they are, but at the same time we want to show where we can help, and there's maybe a lacking point or something of that nature. So I appreciate that input. I mean, that's definitely something we'll take in, and I think y'all will see when I show up to the Band-Aid. I got some goodies for everybody. Literally.
So we gotta match our arm sleeves, because we talking about the batting gloves, but the arm sleeves are just as good as the batting gloves. You know what I'm trying to say? So you get a arm sleeve with the.
Hey, some of us don't throw overhand, bro. We don't need no arm sleeve, dog.
Come on.
We pitching.
Come on.
I got a couple hundred of these to everybody at the Band-Aid, man.
You can ship them to my house right now if you need to.
All right.
We'll talk after this for sure.
Don't do that. I know better. Don't do that. You gotta go through every one of them.
That blue ink. I'll put that special blue ink in it.
Yeah.
Hey, I would send him to Mario. He gonna pick out the nice, cleanest, crisp one and put it aside and just.
Hey, you know what he's gonna do too, J-Mo? Hey, he's gonna try every one of them.
He gonna try every one of them.
Hey, that one don't fit quite. I kind of like this one. It's the same size though, but it looks just like this one.
You'll have but they had gonna have Mario juice on the inside of it.
Hey, ain't nobody hating either. Look at
Hey, we're gonna get our used arm sleeves. Like, why does this one smell? I took BP in it the other day.
The last arm, my arm sleeve gonna be stretched out because
Hey, it's supposed to snow here on Friday, so I don't know how.
You shut your mouth. You shut your mouth.
Stop it. Barry, you got anything else, man? I mean, I think you want to show these gloves.
Yeah, let's definitely show the gloves, but I mean, just yeah, thank you guys for all your input and just talking for a little bit. That was I liked getting to just sit back and listen to you guys ramble on about whatever it was y'all were, but yeah, that was really fun for me, and it's really awesome for me to be able to sit here and talk with you guys right now. As Anthony said, military is like one of our top priorities. We have the utmost respect for you guys and what you do for our country. And every day, I mean, I guess in today's world, a little bit, I feel like y'all maybe don't get as much respect as you deserve. And I want to make sure that you feel that love and feel that respect. And whatever we can do to help it. So these gloves mean, I know they mean a lot to Anthony. They mean a lot to me. They mean a lot to my dad, everyone on the Bruce Bolt team. And I hope I can say the same for everyone in the Bruce Bolt family, including you guys. But these are what we've got going right here. These are going to be our brand new military edition gloves. These are what we've got coming for y'all. As soon as we get them, we're going to have a couple pairs each for you guys, long cuff, short cuff, whatever it is you need. And yeah, I'm just we're really excited about them, and I'm excited to see all the purchases I'm excited to see our guys and the pros wearing them and supporting y'all. And it's gonna be really awesome when they drop.
Sure.
I'm excited, man. I can't wait.
Me too.
We're excited too. We appreciate y'all, man. Thanks again. I know it, like I said, there's a reason I picked y'all, because y'all believed in the product before anything else. Y'all have a special meaning to not only Bruce Bolt, but to myself, and I appreciate that. And I know Bear and Guard as well, and the whole team. I can't shut up enough about you guys, and I appreciate what y'all do for us every day. I appreciate your input. I appreciate you guys, and I can't wait to see some of y'all. Those I don't see, trust me, I'm going to be talking to you soon about how I can see y'all in the support. And thank you again from the bottom of my heart for continuing to support this company, this program. And this is something small, and hopefully in a year from now, we do something else like this. We can, I want you guys to be a part of it too. I want y'all to help build this, because y'all are, like I said, my OGs for a reason. So thank you all again very, very much. And this was fun. Sucks we couldn't do it on Facebook Live because I know tons of people would have chimed in, but this was pretty cool, man, and I appreciate it.
Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Bear. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for the continued support.
Definitely.
And believing in us.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thank you guys. Really appreciate you guys. I feel like in a huge way, Anthony put us in a market, like I said earlier, that we didn't know about and we hadn't even tapped into. And you guys are just as much a part of that as Anthony is. Like he said, y'all are the OGs. So I really appreciate y'all coming on and talking a little bit.
Thank you so much. Best product in the game, best customer service. It's phenomenal what you're doing at this young of an age. It like almost inspires us to have that drive that, especially at my age, I didn't have a drive like that. So seeing you do all this that young, it's impressive, and it's like inspiring. So
yeah, man, keep up the hard work. Keep up.
Thank you. Keep it. These things are phenomenal.
Thank y'all. Appreciate that. All right. Well, thank you guys again. And this was awesome. But one last look at the gloves. All right, military gloves coming soon. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, bud.
Thank you.
Cool. Thank you guys once again.
Thank you, bud. I appreciate it.
We're gonna get this posted everywhere in time for these gloves getting out. So the release will hopefully be huge. And if these things sell the way I think they're gonna sell, we're gonna have a pretty big day when they come out, and then from there on out too. So
Sir.
really excited about them.
Thanks again, guys. So we'll get in touch soon. Appreciate y'all again. Let y'all
All
know to your families.
All right.
Later, guys.
Thank you.
Not everybody.